All right, guys, here we are on Antiga Shipyard, and down in the lower right is a player from mouz who is absolutely not named Maro. It is ThorZaIN. And up at the top left part of the map in the red from the team, teamliquid.net, or you can just call him Liquid 2, I guess, it is Liquid HerO.
Yeah, I keep waiting for Maro to pop up with the drone now over on the right-hand side and start messing with things.
I know, he's I don't know. I don't know, man. It's, yeah.
Yes. Well,
that's just how it is. It's one of those things, you know, sometimes when you cast, you're thinking about other things at the same time. And let's be honest with ourselves, all right? In some points of TVP, you've got some time to kind of think about other things sometimes.
Hey,
so,
game number one,
I
man.
was thinking about the series from the GSL this week, you know, Maro versus Maru. And I don't know. And I've been playing a lot of Zerg lately, so
yeah.
I guess I've just got Maro on the mind.
That's true. Many people closely named to Maro. Maru and Maru. Oh.
Maru and Maru.
I even just think I misspoke there. Maru.
Dude, Maru is good. That kid, I don't know. I think he's got some potential. He's so young.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is. Another one of those players. Prime living. They're super, super young, great players at the moment. So.
Yeah, in case you guys aren't aware of who we're talking about, Maru Prime is, I think he's, what, like 12 Western age or something like that? 12 or 13?
It's ridiculous, yeah.
Very, very young. Terran player. He's qualified for multiple GSLs. He just defeated Maro. Unfortunately for foreign fans, he defeated Maro in their Code A match this week, so he'll be moving on, whereas Maro will be back to practicing hard in Code B. But yeah, Maru Prime, definitely a kid to keep an eye on. But in this match, we've got a much more accomplished Terran player, I would say, and dare I say, a better Terran player in mouz.ThorZaIN.
Yeah, Maru, he ended up going to his birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese shortly thereafter and celebrated.
Yeah, I've heard
that
that's where a kid can be a kid. But you know what? I have kind of a sad story from being a kid. I never went to Chuck E. Cheese or anything like that.
You're not missing much.
Dude, I grew up in Wisconsin / Minnesota once I was in high school, and they didn't really have things like that.
Hey, we used to vacation to Wisconsin Dells. I've got you covered.
Dude, that was a cool place to vacation, though.
Yeah?
That was neat.
Sweet go-kart tracks everywhere and stuff like that.
Ride the ducks and all that.
We actually, okay, funny story about Wisconsin Dells. We stayed there one time with my grandparents, and they got this really awesome deal at a really cheap motel. And it was a nice motel. It wasn't exactly the world's best thing. It was a very typical side-of-the-road kind of thing. And we found out why it was so cheap is because there was a gentleman's club out in front that was fronting for a prostitution ring. And, of course, I was about 11 at the time, so I had no idea what any of that meant. So, yes.
All right.
That was one of my more fun times to Wisconsin Dells.
Pretty normal opening from these guys. Liquid HerO actually sees the expansion go down for ThorZaIN and decides to put down a Nexus before his Cybernetics core. Not too surprising there at all. And he's like, oh, I want to put a pylon there. Ah, they supplied you, but they're ready. Oh, well.
Aw, bye-bye.
You know, I think I should clarify, too. I mentioned riding the ducks in Wisconsin Dells, but you don't actually ride on actual ducks.
No.
Some people who aren't familiar might think that. They're like these big amphibious vehicles. They can drive on the road and then drive like into water and then become a boat.
We've got some here in San Francisco, too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So you kind of drive around and then you drive into a river and you have like a nice scenic river boat ride and then you just drive out on the other end. It's pretty cool. So and they call them ducks.
Definitely did the Wisconsin Dells duck ride, yeah.
Yeah, and the actual ducks are not big enough to ride. If you tried to, an adult would probably crush an average duck, I would say.
Probably.
I haven't tested this
Also be thrown into an asylum, but
that's true. It's the epidemic of duck sitting in the parks in Wisconsin. Yeah.
God.
I know. It's a horrible
thing.
Hope
that doesn't sweep the nation.
I know, yeah. So ThorZaIN going with just 2 barracks here and double gas. So we might see some tech coming out of him a little bit earlier here this time, not going for any sort of 4 barracks power build or anything like that.
Hey guys, what's going on? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Zealot tries to run up, immediately put to a stop by ThorZaIN, though. And
quick stim this time. Okay.
Ooh.
Interesting. And the 3rd barracks on the way.
And where is that 3rd barracks going up at?
Okay,
there. It's in the back, yeah.
Yep.
So this is actually a kind of a flashback build for ThorZaIN right now, as we actually have a 3rd Nexus coming up for HerO.
Ah, nice.
ThorZaIN actually used to do this build all the time, exclusively, every matchup, where he would go 1 Rax gasless FE into a 2nd Rax and double gas. So most people would go up to 3 or 4 Rax at the time, or stop on 1 and go into mech, things like that. He would go up to 2 Rax, then double gas, and it would allow him to move into one of a few different builds. Quick medevacs, quick upgrades, upgrades, quick ghosts. And he used that for every one of his matchups. And this is actually the first time we've seen that in this set so far. So,
you know, and this getting Stim earlier in this matchup will allow him to kind of be better equipped to hold off some of those big gateway pushes that we've been seeing Protoss doing, like the 8 gate, for instance. That is a possibility for HerO to go into. Now that he has gone basically gateway Nexus, could add on, you know, 7 more gateways. There's 5 already total.
Let's see here, and it looks like this probe is positioned to put down some more in a bit.
Yes, he is.
4 more gateways, as you mentioned. And
oh,
looks like, yes.
Sorry, I just realized. So I wonder if ThorZaIN is planning on doing a push with Stim and try to hit before those gateways really become active here. He could do that. I think that'd be a huge risk for ThorZaIN to take, but he could do it.
It's a good way to get around, though, what we've seen out of... Okay, let's see how many here now. Looks like 7 of them at the moment. But, you know, we've seen, you know, Startail Parting, of course, do this a couple of times on Daybreak and inside of... I believe he did this on Antiga in Team Arena Challenge as well.
Yeah. A little bit too late for that now. He's not going to hit any sort of Stim timing, it looks like.
And it does time nicely, though, before medevacs really come into play, or you have a lot on the field. But now, looks like ThorZaIN is starting to get a lot of those built up. He does see a lot of sentries moving out, though.
Yes, he does, and he sees the 3rd Nexus. ThorZaIN's, like, he's got to feel that, like, you know, like, horrible feeling in his stomach. I don't know how to describe it, where, like, you see something in a game, you're like, oh, no, I'm actually in huge trouble right now, because he's got a lot of units and a 3rd Nexus that's already pretty well saturated. And I am still on 2 bases.
Well, let's see
with
here.
1 bunker.
Yeah, not another command center being constructed at the moment. Flipping around the base just to make sure, but no, nothing in the production tab as well. A smattering of upgrades, and Stim is done to his advantage, and he's going to have a few medevacs up. But look at this. He's investing in ghosts right now.
I think that's a great idea, actually.
Oh, nice job catching a couple of stalkers there with some Stim. Is he going to try and go around this army, though? Oh, a few of those Marauders are actually trapped. 2 of them go down in return for those units. He does get a couple more shots off, but look at that. Oh, wow. So many units warping in at a time now.
What are you doing, man? You got to be careful here. Oh, it's so risky for ThorZaIN to be out on the map like this right now.
Oh, boy.
He's used a lot of sentry energy, though. That does help. But
yes, he has. Wow, that's actually only 1 sentry with full energy, and another one's got a couple of force fields left on it, but starting to get a little bit low. I'm just making sure there is a bunker back there, and indeed there is. Oh! Marine runs up and then dies. Looks like ThorZaIN just trying to bait out some more force fields, do as much damage as he can. One thing he's got going for him is that the Zealots are actually all in the back, so now he's starting to poke through a bunch of those sentries. Finally, units moved to the side, so the Zealots were able to make their way on through, but they're just getting mown down 1 by 1. Not a lot of DPS left here for HerO's army, and the sentries are all going to die.
The micro from ThorZaIN has just been insane in this engagement. He's been drawing so many force fields from HerO. HerO was getting all ready for his nice, well-orchestrated timing push, and ThorZaIN just comes out and makes him start fighting immediately. That was a very uncomfortable position for HerO to be put in, and ThorZaIN just really, really capitalized on that. Wow, that was such an impressive little maneuver by ThorZaIN.
Yeah, and he's got a 3rd base coming up now, but you're absolutely right. That was impeccable, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a good chance that HerO with good force fields could have wiped that out and just won the game on 3 bases.
He just genuinely surprised HerO, and HerO was just like, oh no, I have to react, and just didn't, you know, react properly.
That was awesome. Well, now ThorZaIN is still down a base, though. Don't forget, and his opponent has quite a bit to reinforce with. We've got 2 more gateways and a Templar Archive, so that's going to be 9 gate with Templar Archives, but no forges yet.
A little bit of dropping action coming out for mouz.ThorZaIN here. He's going to drop in the main while he pressures the 3rd, probably. It's going to
ThorZaIN's first drop in this set?
No, he's done a few here, but yep, he's going to break down the rocks there.
Yeah.
This is something that's really good for Terrans to do. Oh, taking out that pylon there, that does help.
Yeah, so it takes out the pylon, takes out the destructible rocks, and doesn't even look like HerO wants to move over and engage quite yet. Now, we did have that Ghost Academy finished, but I don't know if he actually, I don't think he put any ghosts out there yet. Mobius Reactor is finishing up now, but a couple of EMPs would certainly help in a bit.
Smart decision to not push up there. I'm not sure if he sent a unit up there or he saw that, but yeah, his army's just not big enough to take on what Liquid HerO has right now. So ThorZaIN playing things pretty carefully, but yet at the same time putting a good amount of pressure on his opponent as well.
Scans and sees all these units here, and it looks like he wants to engage. He is just going to go for it. There's the Stim, 4 medevacs there, picks off a couple of Zealots. Those Zealots are very hardy, though, with that charge ready to go. No upgrades yet, though.
You could swing around and hit the third too as well. There's not a lot of units guarding that. And the upgrades for ThorZaIN are also quite good right now. He's got 2-2 on the way. I think that's why we see him pulling back here. He's like, all right, I'm just going to pull back, get 2-2, excuse me, and see what he can do with it.
Yeah, and he does have that 2-2 on the way, but he's also got 4 ghosts coming out. And Mobius Reactor is done, like I said, so I'm imagining 4 EMPs right on top of that force, and that would end up being ugly for HerO.
I'd be terrified if that was that one Marauder.
Hey, you see me?
He's okay. I wonder if that's going to be a defensive planetary from ThorZaIN, just kind of break up that huge group of Zealots. You can see he's putting a Barracks out there as well, too.
Yes, he is.
That ends up working pretty well.
The, Marine does get a pretty good shot of everything that's going on, but we do have a 4th base coming up now for HerO. Of course, that 4th command center for ThorZaIN. We'll see if he turns that into the defensive planetary or what in a bit. ThorZaIN does, well, he can actually see the health on the rock, so maybe he'll know they're going down in a bit, but the Zealots have been pretty successful at taking those down.
Yep. I am surprised more players don't put like pylons and supply depots down next to those rocks when they play on this map. I always do that immediately because I'm like, I would like to know if my rocks are being broken down. Should know now, but
yes, he does. Running up with a handful of units there, stimming a couple of them as well to make sure those Zealots are dispatched of, and dispatched of they will be. But, ThorZaIN, they show that he's down by 18 supply, but that's actually all in workers. Armies are the same, and 2-2 is going to finish up here in 25 seconds, and that is a monstrous upgrade advantage. Oh, feedback hitting 1 unit there, but a Templar gets sniped in return.
Yep, that's right. So trading casters there. And HerO deciding he doesn't want to let ThorZaIN through to engage right now. He's just going to pull back a little bit more. He's got the supply lead in a big way, though, right now.
Yes, he does, but it's going to be fun to see if that bites him, though, because if the engagement comes just as 2-2 finishes, well, we'll see what ThorZaIN wants to do, and he's going to move out. 2-2 is finished. 1-1 is actually not quite done yet for HerO. It's finishing quickly, but first few shots may be able to get off before that's done.
Yep.
Wow, those Zealots actually disappear when they don't have any upgrades.
Yeah, I know they really do. 2-2 versus 0-0 is pretty rough, but it looks like it's going to end up being 2-2 versus 1-1 here. High Templar is being protected in that Warp Prism.
Yeah, very nice job, but ooh, he does neutralize the shields off of the Warp Prism. He's going to send that to the back for just a second. And HerO, he has to engage. He's got a pretty good concave right now. He's got to drop in those Templar from behind. GNMP's hitting all the front line of units there. Very nicely done. Oh, and he doesn't take any storms. He actually neutralized all of the High Templar. Very well done. No storms.
That is the end of this game.
Wow, and it looks like ThorZaIN is going to bring this back now 4-3.
Yep, that's right. I mean, Liquid HerO just lost his entire army. He's got a small group of Zealots and Stalkers here, but ThorZaIN should just be able to pretty much crush through anything that HerO puts out now.
Yeah, and it looks like even those units that are running out to the side, just trying to bypass and cut off reinforcements, are all going to die as well. So not much that HerO can do about this. Down to half the supply of his opponent, ThorZaIN is going to take this game.
Yeah, I guess so. Looks like HerO's going to need to pick another map. ThorZaIN not out of it quite yet. But yeah, even with 2 Colossi on the way, there's just not a lot that HerO can do at this point. ThorZaIN is just going to push into the natural, and HerO is going to have to defend like Leonidas 300, man, if he's going to have any chance. You know what? Even at the end, they all die. So
that's true.
Yeah, so I guess he wants to defend a little bit better than that, but it doesn't matter. The first 2 Colossi are out, now they're gone. GG.